Welcome back to Derailed. I am very nervous because once I pressed start, all of a sudden I started having Bluetooth issues. So we'll see if I can even do this. This seems like it's like fated to not happen. All right. First, we had to reschedule for an hour late just because it just happens sometimes, and that's fine. And then, Jake got lost on his way to the recording studio. And I'm chopping it up here with the folks in the chat, and finally I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go live solo. I press go live, and instantly, as though he was waiting for me to do so, it says the draft robot has entered the chat. So, I do have our Mark Murphy minute, which we're gonna lead off with.
I did not miss the
It's very important.
But also, boys, it's Micah Parsons season always, folks.
Oh,
let's go.
Gorgeous. That's amazing. I love it. I love it. That's great. I like your do you like my new display name on here?
Mr. Derailed. I do.
No, below that.
Oh. Edgerrin season.
I'm on the train.
You're on the train.
I'm on the train.
Well done.
I told you I needed to see him do it in year 2, and I'm there now. I'm a believer.
All of us derailers, we were in a chat together, and we're like, no, you know what? We're gonna hold the train, or we're gonna add a stop to make sure JJ gets.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
He's gonna get on with us. I know he's gonna get on with us. Just give it some time. We'll make it a couple extra stops, but then we'll be full speed ahead when JJ joins us.
I appreciate it. I think I deserve it because I've been holding it down here in Carl Brooks Town, Devontae Wyatt Town. It's been rewarded. Yes. I don't think there was anybody left at Colby Wooden Station except for Colby Wooden himself.
No, he was,
and I guess Jeff Halfley. And yes. Holy crap,
maybe Carrington as well.
Yeah. I mean, Jake, do you think that it would be inaccurate to say that Kenny Clark to Colby Wooden in Green Bay has been no worse than a lateral move for 2025?
It's been surprising, but yeah, I think that's the truth at this point. I mean,
if there's ever anybody we were like completely out on this defensive roster who, holy moly.
Yeah, well
done, Auburn.
I don't know where he was on our big old tier list thing.
He was at the bottom of the bottom. He was in fry cook territory. Yeah.
Gosh.
Drew said it's a wash. Here's the nicest thing that we could say about Kenny Clark was that he ate up a ton of snaps. And Colby Wooden's doing that.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I mean, I think that there were some people who might have generously said oh, well, Kenny really knows the playbook or whatever. And to that, I would say, okay, well, then maybe he should stay in his lane and plug his gap instead of
his own
freelancing.
He doesn't get his own every week. He's like, this thing got delivered overnight. It's overnight Saturday. This is my playbook.
He sent it to the print shop himself.
Yeah, I'm doing this. Yeah. It's like, who sent me?
He made it in Google Docs.
We're all looking for the guy who
designed
the
cover of it in Canva.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, are you ready for our Mark Murphy minute?
Always.
So this is where I bring you some news from the world. It could be pop culture, it could be world news, it could be political news. And I'm going to tell you how it's relevant. Well, I guarantee you don't know which direction you should bring your own Mark Murphy minute news
I have something.
To this
I
segment.
Just found it.
Okay.
So I will. I'll go after you.
All right. This is a good one. Okay.
Okay.
President Trump is planning to file a $15 billion lawsuit against the New York Times. Yeah. Over reporting in a book that allegedly mischaracterizes how the Trump organization acquired its wealth. $15 billion is what he's seeking. Incidentally, that's about what it's going to cost for the Chicago Bears to buy out Ryan Poles' contract when they replace him with a new GM this offseason or sooner, as they will certainly need to do. Things ain't
I think
great in the Windy City.
I think even if you were optimistic on the Bears, and I was kind of more of like, I can see, Ben Johnson making this offense go better. The problem is I think we kind of agreed, JJ, if things were going to go well, and there were one pick away from Loveland Hendersoning us in the draft, right? Of like, this is clearly like Ben is like steering things. At least when it comes to the draft, he is steering things where he wants to go. Right. I think that was, it felt like that was the case of like, okay, he's trying to find his Laporta. He's trying to find, he wanted his Gibbs in Travion Henderson, didn't get him, says, okay, I'll try to get like this guy who maybe moves like DJ Moore and is a lot cheaper. And maybe you get some Amon-Ra stuff out of him. We'll see. Right. And okay, yeah, I'll go get kind of a hammer of a back who's done some nice things at Rutgers and Manun guy. Like, I'm going to build the offense, go get a potential left tackle, right? All of these things, no guarantees, but you felt like, okay, Ben is steering this train, and it's like, okay, well, why is Poles getting an extension? What has he showed you to this point of deserving it? And it's like, that feels like a serious, like, you go down the college route, which we obviously do on here plenty.
Oh yeah,
like,
absolutely.
All right, so what's the buyout? Like, that's immediately, I think, what you're thinking. We were probably both thinking it a little bit after the extension of like, all right, where are the boosters? What's the buyout plan if this goes horribly? Like that type
George
of thing,
McCaskey is trying to schmooze up his friends, looking for some.
There you go.
Some favors here.
Like, hey, get to Starlington Heights, and I might be able to buy him out. Just saying.
I mean, it's been well documented since Ryan Poles' first offseason in Chicago that I hate everything about how he does his job. I think he's a terrible GM, one of the worst in the NFL. I've never seen somebody do so little with so much. When you look at the draft capital, the salary cap space, he is absolutely awful at turning the capital he has into good players on the field. I'm sure you have all seen this. Colson Loveland on Sunday, 0 receptions. Luther Burden, 0 receptions. Second round pick left tackle, healthy scratch. Second round pick defensive tackle, healthy scratch. And Ryan Poles' contract extended. And it's been hilarious to me because of all of the Bears fans who have argued with me till they're blue in the face about how he's secretly elite and how I'm just a hater. And like, no, look, you guys, you're feeling it now. And you're seeing that this roster is in a bad shape. Despite the fact that they've had so much resources to work with. This defensive roster is in very bad shape. And we talked about it a couple weeks ago. And it's like, look, there's nobody good on defense except for Javon Dexter and Jalen Johnson. Like, that's it. The rest of the defensive roster is bad.
Yeah.
You have one 30-year-old safety who's okay.
He's trying. He's hardest out there. Try my hardest.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Your pass rushers stink.
Edwards is okay.
One of your linebackers is okay. The other one stinks.
Edwards.
All of your remaining cornerbacks stink. Even Kyler Gordon, when he's healthy, not that good. So that
they clearly missed him with run fits on.
In the last 5 quarters of football that they played, I think that the stat was that they had given up like over 700 yards of offense and 7 touchdowns or something like that.
73 points the last 5 quarters for their defense. 73.
And
they got McCarthy, and then they got Campbell.
And like I'm not here to crap on the Lions, but you saw what this Lions offense looked like against the Packers defense. And then they dropped a 50 burger the very next week on the Bears defense. And, okay, that's one piece of data. Like, let's just set aside our analysis of what their defensive roster looks like, which is terrible. Another piece of information that we can look at is, hey, J.J. McCarthy carved them up And then look what happened to him and that offense when they faced kind of a mediocre Falcons defense.
Yeah.
Like it's not awesome.
It's not great, but yeah, they add some a defense that's like the rookies are making plays, right? Which is not something you're like, oh, we need these guys to make plays right away. If that's the case, then that's on you for not building a good defense that can ease rookies in. But they're actually playing pretty well. Some of these rookies are for Atlanta, but still, like that's not a defense where I'm going, oh, we put up 6 point, like it's not great, and you give up 21 in that fourth quarter.
If you're the Chicago Bears and your calling card is elite defenses, and then you see that your defense basically got dog walked by a kind of floundering offense that got shut down by Atlanta's, and you have to start comparing your defense to Atlanta's, and you're already feeling bad about the offense. It's a bad spot to be in.
Yeah,
Chris,
it's not great.
Wants to know, would we trade Malik for a second-round pick from Cincinnati and then bring Elgton up from the practice squad? There's other quarterbacks out there in the ether who I would go acquire before I play Taylor Elgton. But I did post on social media that a second-round pick is what it would take for me to move Malik Willis. Now, does that mean that I think Malik is worth a second-round pick? No. It means that in this season, where this is clearly a Super Bowl caliber team that we have, you're going to have to make me an offer I can't refuse to make it worth it for me to dink around looking for a quality backup quarterback. To offer me less than a second round pick, I'm sorry for you, Cincinnati, that your season is in the shape that it is. It's not my problem. Yeah. I'm hanging up the phone.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. I think since he's probably just going to carry on, for the most part, they've had Browning fill in before, right? I mean, if truly they're just trying to like build up hope that Burrow's coming back and he's actually not in late December, then I don't. There's no reason to forego capital that you could use to spend on anybody on defense to help you. Listen, if you want to send a second over, I mean, okay, but help your defense out over there, help your offensive line out, draft people who don't, And again, I know Burrow is still the guy who holds on to it as long as he can to try to make a play, which is totally fine. Like that's part of his game. But also, I know people are going to look elsewhere just besides offensive line, but that interior offensive line stinks. It's so bad. And like Orlando Brown's getting overpaid, and Amarius Mims hasn't done much. Like their tackle situation isn't good either. So, I mean, I don't fix it. Fix the problem. This will be third season where he's not finishing it. Like I don't know what else to say about Cincinnati at this point. Like if Burrow can come back in late December, I think there's actually a chance they could be like 7-7 by the time he returns for the final 3 games.
Sure.
Like JJ, there is a stretch in there where they're playing Steelers, Jets, Steelers, Bears, Patriots. And it's like, that's a 5-game stretch of winnable games. Like they've got Denver in a couple weeks. Like their defense didn't look great. I know that Cynthia's going to be a turnstile, but like maybe Chase and Higgins and company can do enough. Like they have Carson Wentz next week, right? Like I know Minnesota's defense could give Browning headaches, but like none of those things are like unwinnable, right? They do finish. Browning is probably going to get toasted when they go Ravens, Bills, Ravens right before Burrow gets back. But like and Detroit and Green Bay are going to be tough for them with a backup QB. But like they're not.
I don't think they can beat the Steelers. I don't think they can beat the Steelers.
No? Boy,
I don't think so.
Is so bad. Their defense is so bad. They got Torrey Horton and Garrett Wilson scored on the same play. Pittsburgh had no answer for it. I can't believe I saw that. Like those were both early game touchdowns on the same play. Somebody shared that today. I can't believe how much they're getting pushed around out there. I mean, you saw Pittsburgh, Breece Hall lit them up, and then the Bills said, no, absolutely, that's not happening to us. And it's just kind of like wild, we were kind of wondering if all the overreaction takes were like kind of like, are the Jets offense good or is it the Steelers defense bad? And it turns out, the Niners allowing like 10 yards on 12 carries for Ken Walker. No, it turns out Walker's fine. San Francisco might have had a good game plan because they know that offense, right? They know Clint Kubiak's offense. They know what they're going to try to run. In Pittsburgh, did they watch any? They watched Seattle last week. Did they watch Do they not know? Like, hey, we're coming in running the football. They looked surprised. I don't know. Pittsburgh. I mean, would I take Aaron and hopefully when Harmon comes back and all of that, like that gets a little better, would I take them over Cincinnati? Yeah. Probably. Sure. Do I think it can still be a toss-up for them? Yeah, kind of, because I'm not sure what Pittsburgh's defense is going to be. So, like,
I mean, if those two teams are playing like this next week, I think you would expect it to be a shootout between those two teams.
Yeah.
And so my question is, like, is Jake Browning capable of winning a shootout? I'm going to go probably not. Probably not. But I do think it's again, fluky things have happened. They shouldn't be 2-0. I don't know what's going on with them. I have no clue how they're 2-0 at this point. Very Mandela effect last week. I was listening on the pods, people saying like they're 0-1 because it felt like they should have been. And so everybody was like running with that. And it was kind of like, oh, wait a minute. No, they won the game somehow. And they did it again. Yeah, they're the only, and it's because of the Joe Burrow injury. They're the only 2-0 team in the NFL that you can get plus money on to make the playoffs. Yeah, everybody else is.
It's truly crazy how they're 2-0. Like they should be like, oh, we're 0-2, and now we've got Minnesota, Denver, Detroit, Green Bay. We're cruising to that top 5 pick. We're going to take the best offensive lineman. We're going to help fix this issue. And it's like, no, actually, like you're in kind of this weird in between right now of like, I mean, we're 2-0. The locker room's ready to press on, type of thing. Let's get Burrow back here in late December. It's a very weird situation. It is what it is. It's such a strange deal for them. Did you have anything else for your Mark Murphy minute? Because I have a little something.
Yeah, no, I wanted to hear your Mark Murphy minute before we get to a couple of these comments.
So we've done college stuff here. We haven't done it, as recently because we've kind of been on the Packers train a lot. And you guys have ate that up. But Dabo Swinney sent a message to his haters today. If I didn't see this. Yes. He went on some rants today. I encourage folks who are interested in that to go look these up. They're nuts.
Is this on his radio show?
No, this was in front of the mic today.
Gosh.
It was wild. But here's one of the quotes. If they want me gone, they can send me on my way. If they're tired of winning, they can send me on my way. I won't stop. I'm 55. I'll go somewhere else and win. I ain't going to the beach. We've won this conference, whatever, 8 of the last 10 years. Is that good? I've got a long memory in case y'all don't know. He went berserk.
He's really proud of winning that crappy conference.
Out. Yeah, he crashed out. He's like, yeah, we won this crappy conference that SMU is a runner-up in, type of thing.
This crappy conference
that Stanford, bud,
that we keep trying to leave, by the way, because we know they're crappy.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, it gives me great pleasure to know Clemson's 1-2. I was worried that I was going to be hate watching all year while they're running through undefeated because Brian Kelly can never win an opening game, type of thing. Like he's terrible at those, especially at LSU. And I was like, oh, they're just going to march through this bad conference. I have to wait all the way to December for some joy in Clemson losing. Nope. Face, Dabo. Enjoy being 1-2. You got beat by Georgia Tech. Sit down.
It's been a great start to the season for you as well because you hate Notre Dame and they are 0-2 and almost certainly out of the playoff hunt.
That's crazy.
They were my preseason number 2 team behind Oregon. I was never really in on the Texas hype that much. There's the Texas lost a lot of talent to the NFL, and I've never been an Arch Manning believer. But Notre Dame was my number 2 team in the country behind Oregon, and now, they are going to have to be praying that USC is undefeated by the time they play them because there's nobody else left on that schedule who's going to bail them out. They're going to need to be a 10-2 team with a win over a very good USC team in order to get into the playoffs. And frankly, USC is not going to bail them out. That's their only lifesaver, and it's not going to happen. Yeah, although I will say that the next 3 games for USC is Michigan State, something, and Michigan.
Illinois.
Oh, is it Illinois? Michigan State, Illinois, and
yep.
Okay, so I would support them going 3-0. USC going 3-0.
I would not.
That would
I would
be
not
fine
like
with
to
me.
support
or at least
them going 3-0.
If they go
like
2-1,
going 1-2 personally.
If they
beat Michigan, please, and then do whatever.
That's priority 1A. Okay.
Yeah, do whatever you want with Michigan State. They'll lose to Illinois. Thanks.
UConn plays Rhode Island this weekend. Oh heck yeah!
Now we're talking
Sickos
Connecticut
committee
versus Rhode Island. This is a border war. This is the type of thing we want. Yes.
But is it? Here's a question I have, because I have been to almost every state in the union, and I have not been to Rhode Island. And I'm going to be honest, I have not really spent a lot of time looking at Rhode Island on the map. Does Connecticut and Rhode Island, do those 2 states actually touch each other, or is there water separating them? Like, it's called an island. I really have not spent any time looking at it on the map. Is it actually an island, or is it?
That's interesting. As a geography buff, I feel like I should know. But oh man, is it an? I don't think so.
I think I only have 6 states left to go to, or 7 states I gotta go to still, and shockingly, Rhode Island is one of them.
I'm sure there are islands.
Nobody in the chat knows either. Somebody's furiously Googling.
Rhode Island obviously is next to Massachusetts, right? You got Cape Cod, I think, to the east, kind of Rhode Island. So I'm sure there are collections of islands in there. I don't know why it's called that. I can't imagine there's just simply no way between Massachusetts and Connecticut that it's actually like completely an island. So I can't imagine that's the case. That'd be very strange.
All right, I want to hit just a couple comments, maybe only 2 before we talk some Browns football, because here's the thing. We had to get a really late start because of all the scheduling stuff that happened, and so we don't have much time tonight.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I don't think the Venmo payments are gonna be enough to keep Mrs. Lahey from wanting to go to bed on time. So
it's tough.
But maybe, there's this new espresso machine that she's been wanting to get. So, maybe if you put espresso in the Venmo note, then she'll let us stay up. But we're gonna have to chomp through this pretty quickly. So I want to hit Coach Len. Where is all the 12 personnel with Kmet and Loveland? The question we were all wondering, because some of us thought, hey, Kmet's not good for like a ton, but we could have him block and let Colson go run some routes. And I mean, is there any other answer in the city of Chicago besides crickets?
There's no. I don't understand. You draft this guy 10th. What are you doing? Are you admitting defeat? That would be tough for my brand and also for yours, Chicago.
Come on, 2 weeks in. 2 weeks in. We're not giving up yet. We're not giving up.
No. Tucker Kraft, if you remember midseason 2023, the blocking stuff, all of that, Kraft was struggling. Not a position that you're looking for immediate, instant gratification necessarily. Again, Bowers, special case, receiver, sharpest player at quote unquote tight end I've ever seen. Pitts, athletic freak, doing all that stuff. Laporte had a good season, right? He enters a great offense. Now, this offense should be, I've been told this offense should be very good. So what's the deal? Now, Rome is cooking, and that's of no surprise.
He's like the only bright spot for the offense. I would say if you had a number 2 bright spot, it would be that there are bigger problems with the offense than Caleb Williams.
Yes,
that would be your number two. And that's not like a ringing endorsement of what Caleb's been doing, because he's been really bad.
Yeah,
but he has not been the worst part of the. He's top 3, but not top 2 worst things going on with this offense. So
I'm just surprised. Again, I know Indy's interesting because they've gotten Warren in a lot of really good spots of like for him to produce. Like they're giving him a lot of what he was good at, and it's like, yeah, absolutely, okay. Best play caller reportedly in the league. Hey, you got this guy. Like, what's up here? Get him the ball. Like, I just don't.
It's almost
I
like
don't
there's
get it.
more to being a head coach than just calling plays, and
That's
when
the
the rest of your
right.
team is sucking, kind of takes some of your focus away.
Does he have to pull a Matt LaFleur and start calling defensive plays? You know, because of Dennis Allen. I don't know. It's a good question, right?
I know that the city of New Orleans is chuckling watching the Bears.
I'm sure they are. Yeah. Seriously.
I was not going to do like a bunch of questions, but there's one here that I can't ignore because it's just baffling to me.
Yeah.
And I love you, AFAM, but I'm trying to figure out what the heck this comment means. It says, can we have Musgrave's surgeon on the show? He's looking better, ? First of all, did Musgrave have a surgery that I forgot about?
I don't know. He had a couple, probably.
I don't think he's looking better. I think he's looking absolutely freaking horrible. Did you? So we had that drive where he caught 2 passes where they're running 12 personnel because the offensive line is just getting their butts beat, especially our right guard. Offensive line is getting their butts beat. So we got Tucker Kraft in to chip, and Luke Musgrave goes out and like barely catches a couple of passes for something like 22 yards, something like that. And then that drive culminates with, I can't remember if it was a turnover on downs or a field goal, but we marched down to the end zone and everybody on offense, minus Tucker Kraft, is doing a scramble drill. I'm sorry, not Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave. Luke Musgrave is not being covered and still can't get open.
Yeah.
He's by himself, not doing anything, just kind of like standing there, not really looking at Jordan. I don't ever want to see Luke Musgrave on the field for the Green Bay Packers ever again. I would trade him to Chicago.
Hey, straight up, Loveland for Musgrave any day.
No, Musgrave for
No.
I don't know.
No.
Punt returner?
No, we need Loveland. No. Just have somebody go back there and catch punts. Just don't even run. Just go catch them.
We should tell Poles that Musgrave is more athletic than Loveland.
Right. Yes, he's much faster.
That's the key.
Right, he's like a gazelle in the open field. You don't ask Ben. You got to go to Ryan. Don't ask Ben about what this is. He's not the GM. He doesn't get to field these calls. So you got to call. I believe they call him King Poles. I don't know what he's got much of a domain, but I don't even think he owns his own stadium. I think Rogers does. So that's a problem. But
have you seen the tweets over the last few years of Bears fans posting pictures of Ryan Poles, just like the way he stands? So he stands there and he'll have like a coat on or something, like a kind of a poorly fitting coat, and like he's not the most buff guy in the world. I don't think that he works out that much. I think that he likes to sit there and watch his college tape and eat his donuts while he's watching his college tape. I think that's what makes him happy, which good for him. Happy for him. But he stands there, but he stands with like a little bit of an angle, and they think it's the cool. Well, not anymore. Not since the last 2 weeks, but prior to the last 2 weeks, they thought it was the coolest thing in the world the way he stands. And they just post pictures of him just standing, and they're like, "Oh, our GM has aura, yours doesn't."
He has aura, but no wins. That's a problem.
You know what I've been watching a lot this week? There's a video clip I've watched probably 4 or 5 times this past week. It's the whole clip in entirety of "We're going to take the North and never give it back" by Poles.
Yeah.
Just listening to his thought process for his goals with the team.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought this sounded stupid at the time, but there was like a little part of me in the back of my head that's like, man, it's going to suck if like his plans actually work. And then they have this clip and they're like, look, we told you what we were going to do. but it's just aged it's aged like cheese.
Yeah.
For Green Bay
Not
fans.
the good kind. For Bears fans, anyway. But yeah, I think like, yeah, Musgrave stuff aside, like I think, again, that's the good thing about what Musgrave does is, yeah, the one thing, bits aside for a second, like he gets the defense into a very, in a spot where you can take advantage because of how good Musgrave and Kraft are as linear athletes, right? You go back to that vertical play, that where they're running verts because LaFleur's a sicko. He runs. It's surprising how many times that LaFleur is just running verts for fun. I love it, honestly, and you have the quarterback for it. But it was a perfect call on the long Kraft reception of like they're matching you because you're in 12. You have these two guys who are going to threaten the seam. Musgrave takes away the safety. There's no way Wagner can run with Kraft, right? And obviously, and of course, Josh Jacobs running the swing route to hold the linebackers for a second there. Like that is, it designs nicely. And when you have that kind of linear, that type of speed on the field, especially with Kraft and Musgrave, you can do stuff like that. And that's what I think is really exciting about it is Musgrave, is going to help you in that regard. And again, that was a nice sail route that he ran that he had the big play on Thursday night as well, where it's like, okay, you're running the sail from the opposite hash, I believe, if memory serves, and it's like, okay, like this is going to be kind of a deep crosser. It doesn't have to be sharp. There's nothing, we're just running this, like, and something's going to break open based on what they have called. So like, I think using him in that way will work. I do believe that will work. I do think, though, it'll be interesting to see if there's a team. There is one in mind, but if there's a team who isn't interested in matching 12 with a bunch of linebackers, right, and has a big nickel or a third safety they can trot out there and see if they can still match your numbers in the box because of that, because Musgrave as a blocker isn't the best, right? And then they can match Musgrave because they're
NFC West
body,
teams that
right?
could do that. Oh, and the Eagles.
I was thinking of the Bills as well. They got their big nickel, Teron Johnson, who can kind of do that as well.
Sure.
Like there are teams that can kind of match that. So that'll be interesting to see
and the
if
Eagles.
anybody. Yeah, and the Eagles. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody. Yeah, I mean, gosh, Campbell might still be able to run. Like Jahad Campbell's having a great start to the year. Surprise, surprise! Eagles got a good player in the first round. So
I mean,
there'll be
you might have just listed off like the gauntlet that like we got to play. The Bills in the Super Bowl, and on our way to get to them, we got to get through the Eagles and one or two NFC West teams.
It'd be interesting if Hamilton drops in the box for Baltimore, a team they play 2 days after Christmas, right? In that sort of scenario as well. Like they're not super deep at safety, so maybe that they can't make that work. I don't know how much they trust their third guy because obviously Ardarius Washington got hurt, right? But that'll be interesting for teams who feel like they can be physical and athletic in a lot of those situations to just see how they match. Because Musgrave, again, I think when you draft him, right, you draft a player like Musgrave, you see the speed up the seam, you see the size, and you go, okay, he's 6'5" or 6'6", whatever it is, in 252 or 3, whatever it was in terms of the size. And you go, okay, that's a filled out frame. We fill out that frame, he should be able to block. Like we can teach that, and we're not drafting a 230-pound guy that we know we can't. What do we do? Type of thing. So I get the vision was there, I guess, and maybe he can get better, but it seems like he's only going to be able to take care of like ancillary stuff, whereas like Kraft is seriously a 6th offensive lineman. So yeah, I think there's still a use, but it'll just, again, be interesting where teams who can kind of match that while staying a little bit smaller, kind of how that goes. Because again, Bobby Wagner, doing great stuff. He is somehow still hanging in there at his age in the league, but you saw it. You saw the difference. Like Musgrave's faster than Kraft, and Kraft is outrunning him, like with little worry up the seam, right? And so, you get to a team that has Bond and Campbell, right, who can do some of that stuff, and DeJean's going to probably be matching out the nickel, and that's what's fascinating about this game is to see how teams can kind of respond to that and see if Musgrave, can step up. It's year 3. So
All right, we have to turn our attention to the Browns. Before that, a quick announcement. Matt Ramage is coming on next week.
Yes, he is.
Because next week is Cowboys week.
Oh yeah,
and Matt Ramage is gonna come on here and help us have a real good time. So
yes.
Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, get everybody packed in here.
Tell your friends' neighbors, tell your neighbors' friends, all that.
Starting at the normal time. Jake, if you're late, sorry, Matt and I are just starting.
Bro. No
We're
way.
just starting.
No chance. I'm gonna be here at 6:45, just sitting in here. I'll be at 6:45. I'll just be chilling.
It's gonna be a blast. You know what's not a blast is being a Cleveland Browns fan. So,
no.
Jake, do you recall the last win that the Cleveland Browns had that was a real game, not a preseason game? When was the last time they won a football game?
How
many losses in a row do they have dating back to last season?
Do they have more than Chicago? This is a serious question.
Yeah, they do because
I don't know what Chicago's number is, to be honest.
Because Chicago beat us at the end of the year.
Chicago beat Green Bay. That's right.
Thanks for setting that up, though.
Dang it.
Yeah, no, the Browns are currently on an 8-game losing streak.
Okay, I was gonna guess like 10. I thought it was somewhere around there.
They beat the Steelers in their first matchup against the Steelers last year in like a 1-point win, and that was prior to that win. They had just had a horrific 8-game stretch where they went 1-7.
Wow.
So for those of you keeping track, that means that they are 2-15 in their last 17 games. This is a bad team. Their defense has some good players, though. Their defense has some strengths. Their offense kind of sputters. So far this year, they have put up 17 points twice against the Ravens. Last week, they lost 17-41, and the previous week, it was the Bengals, wasn't it? 17.
Oh yeah, 17-16. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So they didn't put up 17 points. They put up 16 points that week. So 16-17 loss to the Bengals. Yeah, Chris said, heard we tried out Dorian Thompson-Robinson from Cleveland. So, yeah, it was initially reported as a workout. Then it turned out it was just a visit. I don't know why they did this. It doesn't make any sense to me. DTR, despite the fact that he's got some people out there who love him, he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And it's really not debatable. Not really sure what the play was with that.
Scrambler, a little bit of info. Been on the Browns. I don't know.
I don't have anything else.
I will say, I was like trying to remember, like, oh, they beat the Steelers. That was their last win. That was in fact the Snow Globe game. That was sick. Okay, that was sick. Also, Steelers came into that game 8-2. Wow, I don't remember that. Wow, I didn't. I knew they started
Steelers were
well.
crazy good.
I knew they
crazy
started well.
Good Steelers.
And it was like, oh yeah, Justin Fields, they won games and he's like being benched or something, like 4-2 or something like that. And Wilson came in. Did not realize they were 8-2. I thought they had gotten to like 6-2. I thought, but I did not think they were that good.
That game was it was Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, who now are both in New York.
Yes, that's
hilariously
crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, insane. That's kind of when Judy started to cook last year, the beginning of I believe. But yeah, I mean,
Mike Kawano says, "Don't be shocked if it's a slogan. Maybe you mean slow game for Green Bay
or a slog
to get.
I don't know.
A slog. There you go. A slog for Green Bay to get to 17 or 21 points in Cleveland. I'm going to say if the red zone struggles continue, and the penalties and the mistakes continue, then I certainly see that happening. I just realized there's something I've said to like 15 different people this past week, and I haven't said it here to my audience here because it's been a week since we had a stream.
Yeah.
So the Packers are 2-0, right? Pretty dominant wins over two what I think are very, very good NFC teams.
Here we
yes?
go. Here we go. Yep,
What?
I agree. No, I
Okay.
know where this is going. I know.
Here's what I'm saying.
I've already thought of this, I guarantee.
These are like, this was 2 back-to-back kind of B games from the Packers. Like, there's a lot more to tap into. Like, you look at
sure.
when you're watching the Packers beat up on the Lions and beat up on the Commanders, you're not sitting there going like, wow, man, the Lions and the Commanders suck. And you're also not going, holy moly, you know, that like everything's just executing flawlessly for the Packers. You're like, this is just a much, much better Packers team than the teams they're playing against right now. And they have a lot of room for improvement, especially offensively. And like, I think the play calling has been pretty darn good. I saw a lot of people on social media who were frustrated with the play calling against the Commanders. I think that the majority of the things that you were seeing that was frustrating was more a result of the offensive line just really struggling to block Washington's defense. Not that the play calling was perfect, but I didn't think it was horrific. And there were certainly people who thought that you know, the third quarter of the offensive play calling was horrific. I thought we didn't see Jordan's best quarter. That third quarter against the Commanders. Yeah. That was a putting it nicely, it was a forgettable quarter by Jordan. You know, but then Matt LaFleur clearly got in his bag in the fourth quarter and decided to salt that one away. And it was like, all right, look, we see what this offense really can be. And I think that they are more than capable of bringing that out when the lights are brightest and turning that dial up to an 11. Now, losing Jayden Reed, I think, is going to be somewhat significant, but this was already on the table anyways. Yeah. Because we had concerns about his foot, and we felt like we were kind of living on borrowed time with Jayden Reed anyways. So, obviously, sucks that he broke his collarbone. Yes. Praying for a great recovery for him. The surgery was super successful, which we love to hear. Yep. And Jayden decided to go ahead and get the foot surgery at the same time as the collarbone. So, huge. So now we want a healthy Jayden Reed for the playoff stretch and for 2026 and for the Super Bowl. Like, rest up, my dude. Right now, the focus in this passing game is going to be getting Matthew Golden and Tay Wicks really humming. I think that like those are going to be the 2 guys who are going to have to step up in Jayden Reed's absence. I went ahead and picked up Tay Wicks in my fantasy league. I'm like, look, Jayden Reed's targets have to go somewhere, and like Matthew Golden was drafted in like the 3rd round in my league. So Tay Wicks, I think, I think Tay Wicks is going to have to be relied on more, and I think he's been pretty good. I thought that Jayden Reed was really good too. I think both of those guys looked great their first 2 games of the season. And like this was a huge point of emphasis all offseason. Like we couldn't go a week on this podcast without talking about the need for Reed and Wicks to bounce back to what we knew they were capable of. And I think that Jayden's collarbone notwithstanding, we're seeing what we need to from those guys. You know, I thought like the beginning of the Washington game, we're getting things going by throwing to Wicks. And then there's a period where the offense kind of sputters for a while. How do we kickstart it and get it going again? By going back to Wicks in the passing game again. Yeah. This Reed injury might be a really good thing for Wicks. And I've thought kind of for a while that like if Matt LaFleur is just being brutally honest about like what he wants his wide receiver room to look like going forward, which guys does he want to make the focal point and stick around for the next, 5+ years. Yeah. I think if he had his druthers, he'd want it to be Golden, Watson, and Wicks. I think those are probably the 3 guys. Like, makes sense. Love you, Doubs. Love you, Reed. But I think it's that trio is what he would like the future to look like.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this is going to be interesting. I worry about this game specifically.
The Browns game?
Yes. Because I have a feeling that one, the golden break, I know somebody said this. Hold on. Can't have love for candle without Wicks. Nice.
Good one, A-Fam.
That's a good one. Because Tool for this asked if this is the Matthew Golden come alive game. I don't think.
I mean,
so.
they were.
My guess is
You say
no.
you don't think so?
I think it's gonna happen to Dallas, and because Dallas was linked to him plenty, right? And after Dallas let Wan'Dale Robinson have 8 for 142.
Jake, what was Christian Watson's come alive game?
You already know.
It was Dallas.
Dallas, baby. Like I truly think like this is gonna. I have a feeling we're gonna get like a. He's gonna have 7 for like 140, and a touchdown or 2 in the Dallas game, and it's just gonna be outrunning people, cooking people. Right? They're gonna be like, all right, yeah, we got these Dallas DBs. They love to take chances. Double move time. Like this is gonna be. I think it's gonna be a track meet on Sunday night, and Golden's gonna make it known. I will say, Cleveland, the defense, it intrigues me because you have Myles Garrett, who there's absolutely zero chance for the majority of this game he isn't lined up across from the right tackle, whoever it's going to be. Okay? So what that means is probably going to need some help over there, which unfortunately means it's going to be Tucker Kraft probably doing a lot of chips, which stinks because I think that's the best way to attack this defense is with Kraft. Not that I don't think Green Bay can't get the passing game going against Cleveland. Like clearly the Ravens did and had no problem doing so. Tez Walker caught 2 touchdowns. Like they were just going deep into the annals of their entire receiver room of just like, hey, you want one? Go ahead. You want another? Sure. Yeah, that's fine. And so like, I think it can work. Now the Bengals the week before, Newsom and Ward said no way to Chase and Higgins, which I thought was really interesting. But now the Bengals play more iso ball, right? The Ravens don't have that problem of like, hey, we can just try to win this way. And I think LaFleur will know that, right? I think he understands that. He doesn't have anybody who's, dying to go get a win, right, on a 3rd and 8 of like, hey, you just go win this one, right? I feel like he's going to design things well. But it couple talented players in the secondary. Schwessinger's had a nice start at linebacker. Graham has been, had some ups and downs as a D tackle as a rookie, which I think is, it's expected. And then you have guys like Garrett. They stopped the run. They said Derrick Henry, no sir. They got burned everywhere else, but they said no sir to Derrick Henry. I imagine it's going to be a similar deal. I think they're going to commit a lot to the box, stop Jacobs, get them into a position where Green Bay has to commit extra bodies in the passing game to protect Love because of the right tackle situation. So I feel like this is one of those games where, as Mike kind of said, like, this could be one of those games where it's a little bit of a slog, where it's like the line is like 9. I'm hammering that for Cleveland, unfortunately. It has that weird, like, week 3.
But like, what's Cleveland going to do offensively? Like, they don't have an offensive line. They have Abraham Lucas and DeJuan Jones at tackle. They're both terrible. Ethan Pauchek at center.
Listen,
freaking awful. They have 2 good guards in Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller. They're great.
Right.
I'm sorry, you need more than 2 good offensive linemen. Our defensive line terrorized the Lions, and then they dropped a 50 burger the next week on the Bears. I don't know what Cleveland is going to do. I think they're going to get shut out. I really do.
I feel like it's going to be a super wonky game.
They have
this happens all the time.
Unless the Packers show up and sleepwalk. If the Packers sleepwalk this game,
long week off. After Thursday, I think there is a little bit to that with LaFleur teams. It does seem like that kind of happens.
I could see it being a close game with the Packers scoring not many points. Like maybe it's a 6-0 game, but I think the Browns are getting shut out here. I really do.
I hope so. Weird things happen in week 3. There's gonna be some weird stuff happen next week, like in the league, 100%. Hopefully, it doesn't happen to Green Bay. There's gonna be some weird stuff, I think there's probably 7 teams right now, right, where it's like, oh, they're not gonna win. And I don't think anybody in here thinks that, or we think that, right? That just doesn't happen unless you're like the Browns or the Lions, right? Like that. It doesn't happen. Teams are going to win games, right? These are professionals. It's just like it kind of goes by the wayside of like this team's terrible. They stink. Like when are they going to win a game type of thing? When people ask that, always people ask that and they go, oh, how the heck did they do that? They won that game of all games. Like it has that weird feeling of it coming off of a Thursday night game. I do agree. I think like what is Cleveland going to do offensively? I don't know. Hope Parsons pulls a hamstring. I have no idea. I don't know how they're gonna have a plan for that. Right. It has that weird like 16-7 or 16-9 type of thing where it's like
or 16-0.
Maybe
16-0. Like
this is, and you brought up 6-0, JJ. I think 2010 Jets game. That's interesting. That's interesting to me. Of like, okay, the special teams touchdown, right? Jordan Love gets, a little careless, throws something he shouldn't, and that's where maybe Cleveland gets 7. Like it just has that makings of kind of a weird one where it should be super straightforward. Maybe I'm coping and hoping it's not the Dallas game where it gets tight and it's a shootout, right? And you feel like you should be blowing them out. Maybe that's cope because I don't want that to happen. I want them to beat Dallas by 40. Or whatever, like that would be way better.
Well,
so
hold on, I'm not looking forward to Dallas yet. We have a whole week to talk about Dallas.
Well, like, that's why I'm like starting to cope about this one of like hopefully this is the weird stinker game, not that one type of thing, because I do think Cleveland has some stuff defensively that are going to probably frustrate
their
this team
defense
a
is
bit,
legit.
Right? That's where I think it gets wonky, right? Where they could get 7 that way, unfortunately, and sort of kind of keep this thing in it. Like if Green Bay, we don't get after it in the run game. Like Judkins had a nice week, and I get it. Green Bay has been a lot better than Baltimore defensively through 2 weeks, right? So I do think on paper this should be no problem, right? Again, Kraft getting involved with young linebackers in a shaky group there, like should be the move in this one. I just wonder again. I think they're going to force Green Bay to pass. They just need to be ready to. LaFleur just has to have the right game plan to attack it. Because I do think if Cleveland's going to do anything, they're going to make sure that they're going to do everything possible to take Jacobs away in this thing. Like do everything possible. And I think teams have done that. Like that's been the goal for everybody so far. And it's kind
with
of Jayden
Reed missing,
them down.
The Packers are a little bit vulnerable offensively right now as they're trying to hammer out the new norm, the new way forward here.
Yeah.
But Cleveland is going to have to score some points on defense or special teams. Yeah. They're going to have to. Let me hit you with some stuff here. Okay,
let's do it.
Joe Flacco, when he's kept clean, we're looking at PFF, 76.4 passing grade when he's kept clean. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 355 yards, 72.9% completions. Sure. Okay. He is under pressure. In the first 2 games he's played, he's been under pressure.
Is it like half of
36.5% of the time.
Oh.
And his PFF grade drops down to a 28.9.
It's worse. Wow.
His passer rating is a 38.9.
That's essentially spiking the ball. Yeah.
His time to throw balloons from a 2.4 to a 3.41. He gets sacked on 11.4% of his pressures. He has thrown 0 big-time throws and 3 turnover-worthy plays with a 27.4 fumbling grade when he's under pressure, with a completion percentage of 41.9%. And we saw against Washington and Detroit, both of whom have far better offensive lines than what the Browns do, that those quarterbacks were under constant duress. Constant. Yeah. Like it got to the point where the downs where Jared Goff or Jayden Daniels were not under pressure stuck out to you as weird and frustrating because you're like, what? How come there's nobody in his lap already? What? Like I'm just so used to it after 2 games already.
Yeah.
Let's look at these offensive linemen here. So DeJuan Jones, this is his 3rd year in the league so far. Currently posting a 33.4 grade via PFF. he's regressed 3 straight years. He has a 37.4 run blocking grade and a 43 pass blocking grade. That is 62nd best out of 68 tackles in the NFL.
Gosh, that's so good.
And Abraham Lucas is not much better. He's at least been somewhat average. Or sorry, it's not Abraham Lucas. It's Cornelius Lucas. Abraham
Okay.
Lucas is in Seattle. It's Cornelius Lucas.
I was like, wait, when did they get him?
So this is his 11th year in the NFL. He's 34 years old.
Sounds like the Laken Tomlinson of tackles on a bunch of teams. Doesn't have it. They hope he has it. So
They really don't have receivers either right now. Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, and Harold Fannin at F. Those are their receiving threats.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the guys who 40-year-old Joe Flacco, who's going to be under pressure, I'm going to say over 70% of, maybe over 80% of the snaps next Sunday.
Yeah.
That he's going to have to dump the ball off to those guys and hope that Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, or Harold Fannin are creating magic after the catch with Xavier McKinney and Evan Williams lurking back there.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. They're going to have to score points on defense.
Yeah.
Ayers asks, isn't JOK injured? I believe he is. I know that Schlesinger and that Devin Bush, this is like the Steelers fans' worst nightmare ever. Devin Bush was just absolutely atrocious with Pittsburgh for years. Goes to Cleveland and resurrects his career. He was fantastic last year. And so far, so last year he had a 79.2 PFF grade. This year through 2 games, way too small of a sample size to really care about it. But 91.3 defensive grade from PFF with a 90.4 coverage grade. Out of nowhere. This dude was so bad with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But he's turned around. And then Jerome Baker, of course, is probably the guy who's going to be playing on the other side with JOK not available. And all of their defensive backs are good. Ward has, Denzel Ward has kind of been regressing the last couple of years. He's not like the same Denzel Ward that they paid, but he's still decent. And I would say he's their worst defensive back in a really good room of defensive backs. So do I think that their defense is going to be a problem for us? Absolutely, I do. And like we haven't even touched on the strength of their defense, which is the defensive line. All 4 guys they got on the defensive line are fantastic. We all know the big dog. We don't even need to talk about him, but Malik Collins has kind of sprung up out of nowhere so far this year. Had 2 really good games.
Yeah, he sprung up a little bit in his previous stop as well. I think he was in San Francisco, and the pressure rate was super high on top of it. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah.
No, go ahead.
That's been a strange thing. Like, I think his like pressure rate. I remember when looking on like NFL Pro, it was pretty high with San Francisco too. Like he's found something good for him. I believe that was a Dallas draft pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds correct. Mason Graham is their number 5 overall pick from this year. I would say has looked like a rookie and has looked like he's not quite in NFL shape yet.
Yeah.
High expectations for the rest of his career.
For sure.
Getting off to like a little bit of a slow start, but with the guys next to him, it just hasn't mattered that he's still figuring things out. Yeah. And then they also have Isaiah McGuire, who I really liked. I liked Isaiah McGuire.
Oh yeah, Missouri. That's right.
I liked him. Yeah. Kind of a big guy, taller. Kind of a taller dude. I liked him. The other Isaiah who was talked about a lot in that draft class was Isaiah Foskey, and
oh yeah,
he was a lot higher on on the draft boards of people that I followed, and I did not like Foskey as much as I liked McGuire.
Yeah, he went like
McGuire
41st, I think, or 40th, somewhere around there to New Orleans.
Is that where he went?
Yeah, I think he was like
McGuire fell to the
early
4th
40s.
round.
Yes, that's right.
And I would say has like clearly been the better player by a billion miles. The Bears just worked out Isaiah Foskey a couple weeks ago and didn't even sign him. And they're if there's any team in the league that needs defensive end help, it's the freaking Chicago Bears. And even they were like, yeah, no thanks. Yeah. So yeah, Isaiah McGuire kind of been tearing it up. PFF doesn't like Isaiah McGuire's rookie season, but then last year they gave him an 83.3, and so far he's kind of humming along at that same clip. It's a scary defensive line.
It is.
You mentioned that you think that they're going to pick on the right side of the offensive line for us. I will say just a little point of contention. I didn't think Anthony Belton was anywhere near as bad as everybody else I've talked to, including all our friends in our Packers draft group chat.
Sure.
We're really hating on Belton's game. I thought he played fine. There were clearly some mental lapses for him at times. His form is not really there. His pre-snap stance needs some work. I thought he was fine. And there were a couple of hits and sacks that came off of his side that I did not actually think were his fault. And one of them, there was one time when Jordan held the ball for like almost 5 seconds and ended up. Yeah. And like, I'm sorry, I am not asking Belton. I'm not asking Belton to hold up that long. All right. No. Like that's on Jordan.
You're not supposed to. Yeah. You're not supposed to. Yeah. I think the stance thing, I imagine, is just shifting over to that side. Right? Like having Ben left tackle, it seems like it is a very like, okay, just kind of, all right, how do I feel muscle memory wise? How does this feel? I just, maybe it's just him adjusting to that side a little bit more. Like it feels like that's kind of where we're at with him. But like, yeah, it wasn't bad. Now I will say it is against guys like Dorrance Armstrong, right?
Sure.
So Garrett is going to be a difficult task. And
Garrett makes everybody look bad.
Right, exactly. And it's very unfortunate if that's if he's going to trot out there, right? Which
baptism by fire, man. You're a second round pick.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
I mean, listen, I mean, it's going to feel like Dallas and Dallas has Araku and some other guys, but like Dallas and Arizona and Cincinnati are going to feel like, cakewalks after you go into the wilderness going up against a guy like Myles Garrett. So I do feel like they're probably going to help him out if he is starting. I mean, even if Kennard is, they're probably going to help him out too. Like that's it. There's no way they're not going to be keying in and having a plan. I do think like, again, it's always going to be the early down battle matters a ton. And that's why people have made like early down success a massive metric and why it matters so much. Because obviously, the Browns, what do they want to do? Well, they want Garrett and company to tee off any chance they get, right? Like every chance you get, you want to be able to have them be able to tee off, right? And have to have Green Bay commit extra bodies to help, in pass protection so that they have less in the concept and that, the secondary is already pretty good. So it's less ground for them to cover, right? Less, you're going to have less spacing out there. Like that's going to be the case, right? And so, like, Green Bay obviously would love to create a lot of conflict, right? Especially along the D line of like, all right, we need to set an edge and then get into the pass rush, right? When a lot of that play action is going. So it's going to be the defensive struggle. That type of game certainly happens if Jacobs cannot get going, and it has been kind of tough sledding early for Jacobs, where it seems like they've been able to do a good job wearing them down in the second, and I think Green Bay has done a great job of, being at least somewhat committed. They were obviously very committed at the end of that Detroit game. Love just making that a Jacobs drive and letting him punch that in. Obviously, they felt like maybe, getting a little more aggressive, right? Didn't run as much with Jacobs in the second half against Washington, obviously because it was made more of a game somehow. I can't believe that, but I think that's where you're going to see the battle. Like clearly Cleveland last week was in that same scenario of like, hey, listen, this is a tough decision. Who who do we want to stop first, right? Do we want to stop Jackson or Henry? That's a tough ask for anybody. But they're like, we got to stop Henry. We got to believe in our back end unit in coverage, which I think is a smart move, right? And again, Lamar just kind of carved him up, and they had a good plan, and that's kind of what Green Bay is going to have to do. It's I think the passing game is going to have as good of a plan as it's had the last couple weeks, and I think they're going to have to stick with the run. They're going to have to stay committed to under center looks, even with Garrett out there, who obviously can kind of tee off, right? But whatever they can do to mitigate that and also still have an effective passing game is going to be what wins this. They're going to win this because Wicks or Doubs, Kraft, maybe Golden gets it going in this game, and I'm completely wrong. I've been plenty wrong already to start the season. I would have no problem if Golden goes off. I think Dallas presents an easier challenge, but maybe he steps up. Maybe he says no. Newsome and Ward, they're not even good. I'm going to cook both of them.
Golden does not need to be blanked versus the Browns to have his coming out party against Dallas. All right, he can have
no.
He can have some nice opportunities to contribute. He can even have a big catch here or there.
Yes,
and not spoil his coming out party next week.
I think people might have a good handle on this. I trust the fans. I don't think it was a pretty stark difference, honestly, between week 1 and week 2 for Golden in a 4-day span of like how comfortable it looked for him on Thursday versus Sunday. Like actually, you could see they kind of gave him the same double move they gave Romeo Doubs. Doubs got that on that first drive where he worked to the inside back out. Like they had Golden run that.
You talking about the Doubs touchdown or a different play?
I think Doubs' first catch on the first drive.
Oh, the first catch. Yeah.
It was peek inside, work back out. They had Golden run that later in the game. Didn't look as clean. Okay. And there were a couple instances of Golden in that Detroit game where clearly there were some spacing issues and it kind of threw some timing off, it looked like. And so I think it was just kind of like, okay, we're getting on the field, we're getting reps. And then Thursday, it looked a lot better of like, okay, spacing's good, but he's also winning plenty, right? Could have had 2 touchdowns, could have had that 2 for 125 in 2 game. We would have been talking about the breakout already. So it's clearly there. The talent's there. Like we're going to see it.
It reminded me of the Christian Watson Vikings game in his rookie season.
Yeah,
of like they were trying to get him going, and it just didn't work. And then you had to wait for the Dallas game. Hey, this time we don't have to wait till week 7 for the Dallas game. It's week 4.
No, week 4. Yeah. No, I think Golden will figure it out. But it is cool to see them getting Wicks involved with that motion into those out routes because, again, you get him built up with that speed. That makes it even more devastating because he's such a sharp cutter on a lot of those in and out breaking routes. So if they get more of that going, that's great. I think you can build off that. Like I think you can mess with Cleveland a little bit of like, okay, yeah, you think you're going to see these out routes again, and it's really not. And we're going to work dagger into that a little bit more right off that motion, which I think will be exciting to see if they break that out. Like they can do a lot, and that's why motion's so beneficial. And the dinosaurs who don't want that are nuts pre-snap, But yeah, so I'm excited to see that. I think they can get Golden going if they want to. They can get anybody going. It's very clear that LaFleur can get anybody going, right? So
yeah. I was about to do Coach Len, but Brett, new listener to the show, or new commenter.
He's calling.
Long-time listener, first-time caller. I just want to say I love you guys. My question is, who will be the Packers' leading receiver this year? I'll hang up and listen now. And how do you say this young man's name? Brian Mayfie. Brian Mayfie. Well, thanks, Brian. Thanks for your question. Jake, is this the Make-A-Wish kid? Is it Brian Mayfie? Is he the Make-A-Wish kid? I can't.
No, I don't think so. But
okay, Packers leading receiver. So, Jake, my question to you: how do you define leading receiver? Is it yards or targets? Yards.
Yes.
It's probably.
It's the big boy. I'm going big guy.
Probably either Golden or Doubs, I would say.
Okay. I'm going Kraft.
Well,
I'm going Kraft. It's going to be a big, big year for our guy.
Dang it.
I'm going Kraft. We said that. Remember, JJ? We said this in the summer. You remember this? Where it was
We did.
who's the passing offense going to go?
No, I
to?
know. I
Like,
bang the drum for Tucker Kraft every
why
time,
not?
and that's why I'm mad that I didn't.
I'm making sure you.
claim
I'm
it
making
this
sure you're
time.
brought in. No, I'm making sure you're brought in. I'm bringing you with me on this one, right? Because we were both like,
I think
what if the passing offense goes through Kraft? Like this,
I think targets, targets, and maybe receptions as well is going to be Wicks.
I don't think Kraft
Pre
is going to get more
Jayden injury, I would have said Jayden, but I'm definitely going Wicks.
Yeah,
he was the Packers' leading receiver in targets last year. I'm going Wicks for leader in targets and potentially receptions as well this year. But yards, I might go Kraft. And if it's not Kraft, I think it's going to be Golden, because I think Golden is he's going to have a little bit of sort of the Christian Watson effect where he's getting all these big chunk plays at once. And so he doesn't need as many targets per game to keep up with. I mean, like, look, I'm not going to say Kraft because we just saw what Kraft put up this past week with yardage. Like, get out of here.
Yes.
But Wicks, I think Wicks and Doubs, he can keep up with them pretty easily with the chunk plays.
Yeah. I do want to say, because I think I don't remember if we got to chat about it really. No, I don't think so. I think like the slow start, right? Everybody kind of like, oh my gosh, Kraft, Golden doesn't have any production, right? What's going on? Why doesn't he have a lot of production? Can I read off a certain? I want you to guess who this receiver is, JJ. Okay, can we play guess this receiver?
It's Wan'Dale Robinson. It's always Wan'Dale Robinson. That's always the answer.
No, but that's
always
like
the answer.
Game. I like that game. Two Wan'Dale Robinsons and a lie. No.
Is it Joe Tryon-Shanka or is it Wan'Dale Robinson? You guess. You gotta look at the silhouette and figure out.
Yeah.
Okay, hit me.
Okay, so here we go. To start a season, I'm not telling you this receiver. It is a receiver, and it is the rookie.
I already
season.
know who it is.
You know who it is?
Oh, rookie. Okay. Wait, you said it's the rookie season?
It's the rookie season. This receiver's rookie season. All right, I'm gonna read this off.
2025 rookie. Okay.
No. This could be a rookie from any season, but it's a receiver.
Okay? Oh,
it's a rookie receiver.
Okay.
In a recent-ish season. Okay, within the last 7 years, let's say. All right, 2 for 23, 3 for 18, 1 for 2, 6 for 70, 7 for 65, 5 for 26, 0, 3 for 46, 4 for 61, 4 for 18, 4 for 23, and then finish it out 10 for 86 and a touchdown, 8 for 73, 8 for 90 and a touchdown, 9 for 91 and a touchdown, 8 for 111 and a touchdown, 8 for 109 and a touchdown. Took a while. Took a while for this cat. But he got it rolling by end of season. Did not cross the 1,000-yard mark. It was awfully close.
Did not hit 1,000 yards. So we can rule out Ladd McConkey.
I love the guesses in the comments for this one.
We can also rule out Jefferson.
It is not. Yeah, Jefferson, I think, at 100 is second or third game. So we got a BTJ guess. We got a Devontae guess. That's too far back, I will say. It's not Devontae. And we got a Neighbors guess. Regret to inform, Neighbors went nuts early and often. It is not Neighbors. It is not Brian Thomas Jr. either.
Wow.
Who is it?
You know who it sounds like, but he's been in the league too long.
Who is it?
It sounds like Cooper Kupp, but he's been in the league too long.
Interesting guess. It's an interesting guess for Cooper Kupp. Why?
Because it's Puka. Because it's Puka.
It's not Puka. No, Puka had like 16 for 150 or something. So something insane. One of his first 2 weeks.
I give up. Right. Who is it?
So CeeDee Lamb is a no. That's interesting. JSN, that's a great guess. JSN and Cooper Kupp are great guesses. Why? Why are they great guesses, you ask?
Well, slot receiver.
Guy we have played already this year.
Amon-Ra
St. Brown. Okay.
Dang.
That's his stat line for his entire rookie season. Now I get it. He was a 4th round pick, not a 1st round pick. Less expectations, sure. And yet, I feel like.
Yeah, but he was in a bad wide receiver room too, though.
He was, which that's the thing. Like, Even then, it took him a while, right? I will say, since JSN was such a good guess, I want to go through his. Can we go through his real fast?
Yeah.
JSN, okay? Here we go. Rookie season numbers. This is wild. 3 for 13, 5 for 34, 1 for 10, 3 for 5, 4 for 48, 4
3
for
for 5.
Yeah. 4 for 63 and a touchdown, 3 for 36 and a touchdown, 6 for 63, 4 for 53, 3 for 40, 2 for 41, 7 for 62, 4 for 25, 4 for 48 and a score, 6 for 61, 1 for 12 and a touch, 3 for 14, 63 for 628 and 4. Final.
Wow.
line. Not a good season. Not a good season from him.
No.
And here we are today.
People were calling him a bust after year 1.
Yes, they were. And here we are today. 17 for 227 to start the year in 2 games. He's a beast right now. Absolute beast. So it happens, people. It's okay. Right? Listen, not everybody can be Malik Neighbors. It's okay. You know? Just because Puka
Case in
was
point,
fast.
Marvin Harrison Jr., not Malik
Right.
Neighbors yet.
Marvin Harrison, another guy who had like 800 yards last year. This happens. Puka, I just
you know
wanna,
what's crazy too?
Like,
he had 800 yards, and didn't it feel like so much less? Didn't it feel like a 350-yard season?
He did have that like one. Remember, he had that like one big game early where he caught like 4 for 120 or 4 for 130 and
week
2
3?
touchdowns. Yeah, it was like early against the Rams. He caught 2 touchdowns, 4 catches for like 130. It kind of inflated it a little bit. It counts. It was a great game for him, but like, yeah, it was very weird. Puka's first 4 games, regret to inform the people, 10 for 119, 15 for 147, 5 for 72, 9 for 163 and 1. Guys, just unbelievable.
That sounds like what Tucker Kraft is doing this year.
Yeah, Tucker Kraft. And by the way, Puka in the wildcard game, first playoff game, 9 for 80, 181 and a touchdown. He's nuts. He is simply nuts. Another guy who's off to the races early from that class. So,
all right,
very fun.
All
very
right.
fun.
I'm pumping the brakes on
Yeah,
name that wide receiver.
We could do.
Let's
this
talk
all day,
about
you know,
Packers wide receivers here.
Sure. Let's.
Coach Len says, "Would you play Wicks in the slot or Golden this game with readout?" I mean, the simple answer is it's going to be a rotation of guys in the slot there. Yeah. But you know, we did fail to mention when we were talking about the Browns secondary. Their starting slot. Ooh, how did I do that? I just got rid of I bumped my keyboard and it made Coach Lynn's comment go away. Their starting slot corner right now is Miles Harden, who is absolutely atrocious. South Dakota Coyote from the 2024 class. 7th rounder. Has not played great. Maybe this is where you pick on Cleveland. You got to watch out for their linebackers.
Yeah,
we got to watch out for the linebackers. But maybe this is, and obviously they got some safeties. Grant Delpit and Ronnie Hickman, the great Ohio State Buckeye, who took quite a few years to get going in the NFL.
Yeah,
they're lurking. But I kind of like the idea of Wicks there. Because I don't know that like Golden, not that Golden is tiny, but you're not getting the size mismatch with Golden.
Yeah,
you know, that a DK Metcalf would provide you.
Certainly, yeah.
And so I want the guy who can break the ankles. Give me Tay Wicks, who is an established NFL veteran at this point, and can get open. And trust him to find that soft spot in the zone.
Yeah.
I think I would maybe go heavy on Wicks in the slot and lean on Golden to stretch out the secondary. Honestly, like I hate to have you do this, buddy. Like, trust me, your breakout game is coming next week against that terrible Dallas secondary.
It's happening for sure.
But like for this game, I need you to run some goes and outs, and I need you to peel guys off. You know, make Cleveland really get vertical on defense and decompress and create some opportunities for Wicks and Kraft to really beat up on these linebackers and get behind them. That's going to be my game plan. So, you know, who's out there stretching the field opposite Golden. Whatever, throw Musgrave out there occasionally. Good for one thing, I guess. Romeo Doubs is probably going to have to be doing that. And then, hey, I know he's not really healthy, but maybe we put Bo Melton back out there again for 1 week. I don't know. Give me some ideas.
Listen,
Jake.
I think Golden's gonna have to be the decoy this week. That's why I believe that they could give him more to do. And I do think Doubs can win on the field. Won on a great post route week 1. It's very clear that he has a lot in his bag. Probably gonna make a team in 2026 very pleased that they signed him. Unfortunately, but I think Golden's gonna kind of get relegated to it as kind of listen, dude. LaFleur going to the I don't know. Maybe LaFleur doesn't talk like this, but going in the room buddy, it's going to be your time. Do not worry. It's going to be your time. We absolutely need you to do this week, and I know you can be good at it. And listen, Love's probably going to give you a chance anyway, bro. He threw a triple coverage with Jayden Reed last year against the Rams. He'll probably do it. I don't think Golden's, just because it's a decoy, he's not going to get targeted. I feel like Love's
after this Browns game, I might try and offer Tay Wicks for Matthew Golden straight up in my fantasy league and just.
I'm trying to trade for him. Yeah, I would trade for him this week. Truly, just trade for him this week because I think probably next week is going to be the whole Butler, our prices have never been lower type of thing.
Let me hit you real quick.
People are going to look to the Dallas game and go, oh my gosh, Wan'Dale Robinson crushed them. So what happens when a good receiver's out there? They do what Neighbors did, right? That's what they're going to be thinking. So you might have to.
Here's who I have who I can trade away for Golden.
Okay.
I have Pearsall. I have Tet, and I have Quentin Johnston.
Wow, if you could flip QJ for Golden, right, that'd be nuts.
I mean, it's probably a sell high on QJ right now. Yeah,
I probably, even though I think
Herbert's really liked going to him.
Yes,
he's had 14 targets in the last 2 games.
He has, and again, he should be getting he should be doing again. I know Trey Harris, very fun. Glad the Chargers did that. That's cool. QJ should be doing this. This is what he should be doing. There's no they threw him to the X role as a rookie. The Chargers did, and that was wrong. That was horrendous. Never do that. They're still trying to the Chargers are a little bit of hey, try to catch this back shoulder, boss. And it's I don't think so. He's just I don't think he's gonna be great in that scenario, right? But
Matthew Golden has 5
stretching the field
fantasy points in PPR this week, this season.
I know. Everybody's gonna be panicking to sell. It's time. QJ's still going to be a part of this offense, right? But I do think the further we go, Lad's fine. If you can go get Lad right now, you do it. Simply do it. I don't know
Lad for QJ.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
That would be convince the owner that Lad is wide receiver 3 in that offense.
There is a dynasty league where both QJ and Wan'Dale are on my bench, and I am furiously
well, okay. QJ's on my bench. My bench is Pearsall, Tet, and QJ.
Yeah, I QJ and Wan'Dale are on my dynasty bench right now. It's just collecting dust. They combined for 40 fantasy points last week. I'm willing to let these guys go. If you can make it happen, I would do it. All right. Let's see here. Do we got to get some of these starred questions?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Well, we saw this one. It is a dope shirt. If you want that link, hit me up on Twitter. I shared it with Tool for this. But yeah, if you want the link to this Micah Parsons shirt,
we can.
I have a friend who has a code.
To be able to afford redacted energy drinks. Okay,
I know. But I have a friend who has a code. So if you want this shirt, hit me up.
Chris says Savion breaking out this week.
That's interesting. Another guy who could stretch the field if they let him. JJ was.
I would be okay with that.
Feared that they were going to do what they've done with him so far. They've certainly done it. His fear has come true.
Look, there is nothing wrong with building some confidence for Savion by manufacturing him some touches.
A player who looks a lot like QJ at times.
Designing some play. Well, yeah, they both play at TCU.
Well, it's not even that. It's like legitimately like taller, lankier player who has really good gear down ability. And the speed.
Yeah, but Savion has better hair. Savion has way better hair.
True.
Okay.
True. You have a point there. Point JJ. Yes, no, I agree. But
I just got the message. We have 15 minutes until I have to turn the lights off in here.
15.
And also stop talking. I have to turn the lights off and stop talking in 15 minutes.
Yeah, for those who don't know, we do a lot of post-show chats, and I can't imagine that goes over well when we do that.
It's okay as long as I remember to text my wife that the show is over and I'm just talking to Jake, and then she's usually cool with it.
Yeah.
It's when Jake and I talk for 45 or 60 minutes after the show and she thinks I'm still live. Yeah. That's when she gets grouchy. Coach Lynn says, have you seen anything with Savion's routes that would get him running more routes in the game? I like that they had him out there running real wide receiver routes and not just he's not just their Tyler Ervin, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna get some playing time. I think that he did a good enough job last week to warrant giving him some more opportunities this week.
Yeah.
And it wasn't garbage time. It was still
That's true.
It was still real playing time. Coach Lynn says married life sucks. No, it does not. Married life is the bomb.
I imagine it's fun. I do.
No, what sucks is trying to get sleep when you have a baby. All right. And so that's why you're the early nighttime, especially like 11 to midnight, and then like midnight to 2, like those hours right there are sacred. Because after that, it's no holds barred with the baby.
Means you have to sleep during football, not ideal.
Say what?
Means you have to sleep during primetime football, not ideal. But
I know. Well,
you got to do what you got to do, though. So.
It's like the Pac-12 After Dark was very hard to catch with our firstborn, and then now, the Pac-12 After Dark doesn't exist so much anymore.
It's kind of mid,
West, I guess.
Unfortunately, it's kind of mid. It's ACC After Dark. Stanford was hosting Boston College. What is this? This is not my. I will say I will become a boomer of this is not my Pac-12 After Dark. Did not sign up for this. This is nonsense. I don't like it. Don't like it.
I think I have this open. Okay, there was for this. Ooh, hold on. I'm going to show you one thing, and then I'm going to show you the other thing I was thinking real quick.
We will pick this game, folks. So make sure to drop your predictions also. It might be tomorrow by the time.
New requirement for AP and coaches poll voters. Select all squares with teams that lost.
Oh.
I thought this was hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was brilliant.
Is this week? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Oh, this is so good. I can't believe I missed this one. Because you retweeted it, and I definitely follow college football. I can't believe I missed this. That's so funny.
So,
oh my gosh.
Let's see if you can pass the test. Who in this 16-team grid lost this week?
This week?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, sure. No problem. Okay. Who lost? South Florida lost.
Everybody lost except for Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
right. Number one team in the country.
There it is. There's only one I'm not sure of, to be honest. We'll get there. Auburn. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Definitely do not remember if Auburn lost or not. The rest I can tell you, I'm pretty sure. Okay. South Florida lost to Miami. by a lot. It was a bloodbath. Florida lost to LSU. Clemson lost to Georgia Tech. Tennessee lost to Georgia. Notre Dame lost to Texas A&M. South Carolina lost to Vandy convincingly. There's a whole little thing going on there with that. If you haven't followed that, definitely look that up. Not going to bring it up here. And I'm not sure about Auburn. That's the only one I don't know.
So Auburn played South Alabama this week.
Okay. So Auburn might have
Ball State the previous week.
Auburn might have no. Okay, so that's it then, I think. Right? Is that right? LSU.
Chris said the rest of this broadcast will be done using ASL. Yeah. But I would also have to do this. Turn off my
Mississippi beat Arkansas.
my light.
That's for sure. Iowa State
struggled.
All right, so Iowa State struggled against Arkansas State. They still won though. But I know I know I should be right then.
And UCLA not on here.
UCLA did lose, yes.
So here's the other thing I want to show you. So
I saw you quote tweet this. I think you said like elite at what, right? Or something.
Which sport?
Oh, at which sport? Yeah. Yo, basketball, this would be a ridiculous conference.
I mean,
it's two teams.
Sort of.
Two teams. No, it'd be ludicrous. It doesn't make any sense. It's two teams.
Well, it's just
bottom feeders. Maybe San Diego State's not bad, actually. UCLA can be. Honestly, UCLA might be third. San Diego, it might be just Gonzaga, San Diego State. Run this league. So,
yeah. So, but anyway, this could be gross. This could be our new Pac-12 After Dark.
I will say relegating UCLA is very funny. I will not.
Did you see
stop consuming those jokes?
Did you see the Big Sky Conference tweeted no thanks to UCLA? The Big Sky Conference.
That was so good. I love
that. Was amazing. And the Pac-12 Conference account tweeted something derogatory about UCLA, and then
you could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you?
Pretty much.
Back to me.
Pretty much.
That's
pretty much.
It has to be.
But and then they went. They lost 2 games to, I don't know, like MAC schools or something. I forget who.
Would you trade someone on here for UCLA?
No,
a little bit of
really.
Interconference Apple Cup or Interconference Platypus Bowl.
I don't think that I would, because UCLA has the Rose Bowl and they have some basketball.
You're right. What if we kept the Rose Bowl and somehow trade UCLA?
I think.
And the Big Ten championship is at the Rose Bowl.
No, I've been an advocate. You and I pitched this a long time ago. Our first ever podcast we ever did together, which I don't remember. Was that the first time we ever met? Was when we just randomly hopped on that podcast together? Had we ever met before then? I can't remember.
I don't think so. Maybe once on a podcast.
For anybody who doesn't know, this was amazing. So
I love how derailed we've gotten ourselves tonight. Like nobody did anything wrong.
Stop trying to derail my story. When the news broke that USC and UCLA were leaving the Pac-12 to go to the Big Ten, Jake and I were over at the network at that point, and I posted in the network Discord. I'm like, this is huge. I'm gonna go do a podcast about that. Does anybody want to come in? Nobody else in the Discord watches college football. They're all NFL only.
Yeah.
And Jake is like, of course I want to.
Yeah.
So we hopped on. We did like 2 hours or something. And we finished, and Jake and I are like,
Joseph.
This is kind of fun. Like, I don't really know you, but I kind of like you. Maybe we should do something again. And so then when I had the idea to start this show, I was like, we need a third host. And it has to be Jake. Like, if he says no, I'm going to have to make him say yes.
Thing down.
And thankfully,
I will
didn't say no.
Him.
You were an immediate yes. You didn't even have to think about it. You were an immediate yes, and now look at us.
I will blackmail this man.
But going back to that same podcast that we did, we had laid out like which teams needed to join the Big Ten, and so there's 2 teams missing here. All right.
Yep.
That we wanted Stanford and Notre Dame.
We did.
And I think, listen,
Couldn't remember if it was Pitt or Stanford, but
It was definitely Stanford because my whole reasoning
Academic.
was Notre Dame's rivals are Michigan, USC, Stanford.
it's true.
Who's their other rival? They have one more goofy rival. But my point was to get all of Notre Dame's rivals into the Big Ten and then forbid Notre Dame from ever playing them unless they joined. Now, listen, we are in a spot right now where maybe it's shaping up for Stanford and Notre Dame to actually be available because Clemson and Florida State are trying to break up the ACC. Now, that huge grant of rights is like ironclad, but they're trying to break up the ACC, which means maybe Stanford becomes available for us.
Yeah.
And then Notre Dame is sitting here in an interesting position. After they made it to the Natty this past winter and lost, like they were as high as they've ever been on the idea of like, we never will need a conference. And now as we sit here, they are 0-2 and they don't have the schedule ahead of them to get back into the playoff hunt.
Sure would be nice to have Michigan on that thing.
It would be nice to have some Big Ten teams on your schedule. Like this whole like Purdue? An FBS Big Ten team, not an FCS Big Ten team.
Right. Like FCS Big 12 team, Oklahoma State. You're right. You're right.
Mike Gundy's going to come after us. Okay. All right. We need to wrap this up.
We have the same money as Oklahoma State does, I think.
The same money?
Yeah.
I mean the same.
Yeah, we have the same amount.
Oh, the Oklahoma State
is
the
same. Yeah,
poor.
Our budget, our income from the Venmo is the same as their NIL. I think. Just based on field.
This is my last redacted. We haven't gotten donos in a while, and I don't have any more money for redacteds because I spent all of the last little bit of Venmo that I had on this redacted. So we need to wrap it up and get out of here.
There's two options.
I have staked my claim that the Browns, unless they score some defensive or special teams points, they're getting shut out. Their offense is getting shut out. So I'm gonna go 17-zip, but I could see like a weird 13-zip game as well. That still feels convincing, but you come out of it, with more doubts about the Packers offense, unless you listen to this podcast. And if you listen to this podcast, then you go, all right, this is kind of what we were expecting. And next week it's going to be a barn burner against Dallas. All right. That's my prediction. Packers take it. Kind of a low scoring game. Definitely bet the under. I'm going 17-zip, but I could see it being 13-zip.
Do I keep the bit going? That's the real
question. Oh, yeah. Please pick against Green Bay because we need to jinx.
You're right.
We need to jinx the Browns.
Perfect. So how this works, special teams touchdown and a pick six. I don't like that Adam Huddle said this. He got to say it in the comments before I was going to.
Prop bet. Put a buck on Cody Schwessinger to get an interception.
I
hopefully it's not a pick six because if it's a pick six, then maybe. Here's the other thing. Here's the other possibility.
Hey, it's an underneath defender. Whoop, whoop. Oops.
Well, this is the thing. Jordan loves throwing to linebackers. Going back to college, that's always been his weakness. There'll be a linebacker squatting there that he doesn't see. Yep. So maybe this is how the Browns do avoid getting blanked. Is maybe
with the logo.
Maybe there's an interception, and then the Browns offense goes 3 and out, and so they kick a field goal from the spot of the turnover. Like that very easily could be how they avoid getting blanked.
That's true. I will say they could definitely pull a Tennessee Titans week 1, right? Where Denver muffs the punt at like the 25. And then they couldn't kick the field goal because they backed up so far. That is insane, by the way. Love Cam Ward, can't be doing that. But it was week 1. It was okay. But like that could happen. I'm going to keep the bit going. Week 3 is weird. Could definitely see the Titans beating the Colts. Everybody's riding high on the Colts this week type of thing where I don't know about the Jets beating the Bucks, but that's another 0-2, 2-0 matchup. things get strange week 3 and week 4 in this league. Teams that you think are never going to win. Now, I'm not saying that next week the Saints will beat the Bills, which that's a week 4 matchup. I don't think we're gonna get that right.
I would be very happy if that happened.
That'd be
actually.
wild.
It's
like
on
that. Saints are on the road though. If they were in the dome, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, Cleveland wins 16-13 in a very weird football game. There you go. Keep it rolling, folks. Cleveland.
How many pick sixes?
Just one pick six. I think they're in a position to. They're in a position right to where I've 3 field goals right and a touchdown is the 6 is where I'm going to get 16 from. Maybe a second turnover of some sort. Maybe it's Garrett winning and maybe splits the chip and in terms of like pseudo double right that a chip provides and he kind of strip sacks and they 3 plays 0 yards field goal type of thing or a punt return gets them in range for a field goal. It's going to be weird. So I'll take Cleveland 16-13. I'm not scared.
Okay.
We'll do
All
it.
right. I'm also not scared. I'm not scared of Cleveland's offense.
You shouldn't be scared of Cleveland, but I will say
I'm certainly not scared of their offensive line.
I like that. Yeah, no.
Defense, almost everybody on their defense scares me, but
no, that's fair.
So Jake, I see you have this question. I think I might have to hop off.
No, I'm going to say,
this.
Coach, I'll go live this week, Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday evening. We'll talk a little We'll talk some rookies, and I will answer this. Plenty of thoughts, but yeah, we'll definitely talk about that later this week.
And I'm gonna write down some of the questions we didn't get to because there were some really good ones that I wanted to hit.
As long as
ran out of time.
As long as they're in starred, I think they stay there.
They stay there until the next live stream starts.
Oh, okay.
So we could pull them up next week pre-show, but then,
yeah, maybe Ramage will answer a few of them. Make sure to bring your questions next week. Don't forget about that.
And there's a lot more I would love to talk about, but we gotta dip out of here. In the words of the late great terrified bulldog running away from the Packers train, and Micah Parsons. Thank you for listening. Go Pack, go.